I am definitely thinking about putting a city wall around Baerlon, so I don't have to worry about going to sleep every night, and I don't have to disrupt my workflow with all my redstone contraptions. And yeah, so we're back in Baerlon this episode, and I've been playing a lot of Factorio recently, and that's bleeding over into Minecraft. So I now have 3 bamboo farms that are hopefully going to power our furnace array right here. And so far they're working pretty well. I've really been smelting a lot, but they've been working, growing bamboo continuously. So the first design I made was this kind of thinner one, where it has like two two blocks wide at its widest point, and then every bamboo actually gets its own individual piston. I have not really planned these for with actually moving around them. So I will probably have to improve that in the future, making it easier to walk around redstone contraptions, but hello. So yeah, this redstone line will pulse each of these pistons twice. The first one will break the bamboo. The second one will push off any bamboo that land on top of the part of the plant that will be left. And so to actually make it extend twice, I just have this repeater turn on and then off, and the observer looks at each update. So like that. I'm gonna switch that around. Oh boy, that skeleton might have a enchanted bow. But yeah, these pistons each power twice, and then the bamboo all gets picked up by the hopper minecart right here, and then they filter into this dropper that sends the bamboo down towards on the waterway to the super smelter. Sorry, it's not really a super smelter yet. Um, this machine picks up most of the bamboo that it harvests. This is just a slime block flying machine that goes back and forth every once a day like the other farm does. And yeah, not much to it, just have it activate on this side with a trapdoor up there, and on the other side, the flying machine will send an update. The flying machine has an observer that will power this repeater line, which will power a trapdoor that sends it back. We can hop out here and take a look at the third bamboo farm I built. Technically fourth if you count the one that you have to manually pick this stuff up right there, which is also not that great. But I'm not really counting it because it hasn't produced much bamboo yet. So this third one is the same design as the first one, where the bamboo is too wide and each plant gets its own individual piston. I'm also just taking the redstone wire from that one to this one, so that I didn't have to worry about throwing another daylight sensor somewhere. In the future when I'm making farms, I'll definitely try to make it easier to walk around them, because, yeah, this isn't really fun right now to get from point A to point B. Then again, these farms should just, once I finish designing the outsides, I won't really have to visit them a whole lot. I might have to visit the flying machine in case I log out while it's running and it stops like that. It stops in the middle. But for this episode, I think I want to work on starting a wall around Baerlon so we don't have to worry about monsters attacking us, and making sure everything is lit up inside the wall. And then, if we have time, also adding in a cobblestone farm over here in this pit. That way I'll be able to get plenty of cobblestone for droppers, pistons, dispensers, observers, just a lot of redstone components that'll be easier with an automatic source of cobblestone. I've been trying to plan out where the wall will go around the city, but I really don't want to do it now since it really restricts me with how much I can add to Baerlon. So I kind of have to choose how big I want the city, and then that's where I'll put the wall. As it is right now, I just put a big polygon of oak logs, in a dashed line around the perimeter of the city, and I think this is fine. I think it's a little on the small side. To me, it feels about the same size as Emmons Field, but much more compact. But I really think I need to make it a little larger. So I could expand a little farther this way, this way and this way. Up here I'm against the mountain and I can't really go farther up there. I'm also really struggling figuring out what to do with this hill, because I can't really put a wall so close to it because it's so easy to put attackers up on top of the hill and just shoot arrows into the city. And so I'd have to put a wall up the hill, but then having just a fairly steep cliff in the middle of your city is not great either. So I'll probably have to do a lot of terraforming with this hill to make it uh, either building a nice ramp up there so I can include it in the city, or just get rid of it with TNT and flatten it so that I can put the wall right here and not have to worry about making it vulnerable to attackers on the hill. So yeah, this is... I also think I should keep Baerlon a little on the small side since it is a small city in the Wheel of Time. And if I'm gonna be building Camelin and Tyr and Tarvalon, I definitely want to be able to... I don't want to go too big now and then really have to exponentially increase the size of those later cities because those will get pretty big fast. Alright, so I think I have a design for how the cobblestone farm will work. I wanted to get this working before I started on doing a whole bunch of terraforming and building the wall, just so that we're in the area for a while so we can start running. So the main thing is that I feel like it's best to have a vertical wall coming in for the TNT to blow up. And so I decided to try to make a vertical cobblestone machine. The way it works is that I have these pistons pull out the current cobblestone. So when they do that, the lava will fall and touch the waterlogged stair, and so it'll turn into cobblestone as well. Originally, I had the stairs facing the other way, but that is not a good idea because then the water will flow out and touch the lava that's to its side, and that'll stop the lava from flowing down and getting the other cobblestone. So we can push the cobblestone along and then make more. So now I just have to figure out how to make a clock that'll push this out, and then making the TNT duper that will go up at the top there and will actually be destroying the cobblestone for us. I figured out how to make a little redstone gadget that I've been hoping to make for a little bit. This will be a lumber mill that converts logs that are placed into this crafter into sticks that will be crafted from this crafter. So we'll put a chest right here to catch all the sticks, and we can easily trade them with our Fletcher villager right over there. So I just built this over here, but that was too close to the Fletcher's current house, and so we'll rebuild it right here. So first, my main idea was that I would have a comparator circuit that would decay right here, and this would make it so that when this turns on, it powers the log crafter. It will also, when it powers on, it flips this trapdoor, which powers the stick crafter, but when it powers off, the observer also detects it turning off, and so it'll finally also update the stick crafter a second time, and so that every time it powers the plank crafter, it'll craft sticks twice. Since one log gives 4 planks, and 2 planks make sticks, we can run the stick crafter twice every time we craft 1 log into planks. And so that's why we have this setup, so that the stick crafter will activate twice, while the log crafter activates once. So I just built this circuit over there, so we'll see how fast I can reconstruct it here. So the first thing is that we want this to turn on every cycle, and so I put a redstone line like this, and we want to connect it right up here into that block. So we'll just staircase up right here. Once this crafter has a log in it, its output will turn from 8 into 9. When we want that to go from 8 to 9, we want it to allow a circuit to run through here. To do that, we'll first have to invert the circuit, kind of. invert using hexadecimal logic, not binary. And so instead of switching it from a 0 to a 1, we'll switch it from an 8 to a 7. That's what we get when we subtract. We'll have this run twice. So I think I found out what was wrong. I had this over one spot too far. Okay, now that's working. Yeah, I didn't actually have this torch. I had to put this torch right here. It was supposed to be right there so that this redstone can actually activate it. So when we run this, you see that we never have a build up of planks in here, so that shows us that we're running it enough times each time. And we notice that it completely empties itself, and then it stops, so we don't have to worry about random redstone clocks taking a flag, making more lag than we need. We can probably fill in this hole and then design a pretty house for this at some point. And we'll have a really nice way of crafting sticks easily without even thinking about it to trade with this Fletcher and any others we may get in the future. So I built the TNT duper. This one is a common one. I found it in a video by El Mango. I definitely don't understand enough about how they work to explain it, other than the fact that the TNT is kind of powered by the activator rail underneath the minecart, but not in a way that it actually disappears. It just duplicates itself. But if you want to actually understand them, watch El Mango's video listed in the description. So here is a variable length timing circuit that I designed. Well, I've designed this part and used it quite a few places, where it'll feed back to itself and cut off the input of the strength. But I'm not sure if this will quite work the way I want it to. But we'll see if it blows itself up, I guess, when we power this and then set this to subtract mode. Okay. I probably should have put the duper a little higher. Oh, there we go. Yeah, looks like I need to put the TNT duper a little higher, because the TNT actually was able to blow up right there. Doesn't look like we lost many slime blocks, which is a good thing, because we're kind of low on those. And the coral fan is easy enough to replace. So I guess I'll just build a copy of this thing, but a little bit higher so we don't have to worry about it blowing itself up. Alright, I raised the TNT flying machine about 8 blocks or so it hopefully won't blow itself up. Everything else is set to go up here. I did remember to add a switch down here that will flip it on or off. So right now the TNT duper is extended. When I flip the lever, it will pretty soon retract, and hopefully TNT falls and doesn't blow everything up. I think this tower is far enough away, but we'll see. Alright then. Wonder what I'll do instead of signs right there. Other than those signs, I'm not seeing any other casualties. Looks like the redstone torches are good. And the 2 obsidian blocks I've placed in the blast chamber seem to be holding the TNT wherever it falls, which it does seem to have quite a bit of variance. Okay, so I just have to redo this item collection thing possibly, but other than that, it looks good. I'll put that back on, and then also go over, and it's the easiest way to turn on the cobblestone machine. Alright. Perfect. Looks like everything's working. Once we figure out that item collection thing. Then we'll be automatically producing cobblestone for villager trading needs as well as redstone components. So this episode has already been on the technical side, so I wanted to do some building, but then I noticed one of the third bamboo farm we built is actually not working quite right now. But I was fixing it, attempting to fix it during the night, and that's shown me reminded me exactly how badly we need a city wall for Baerlon. So I really need to get working on that ASAP, because I can't keep losing time because of these guys who attack me during the night. It's getting out of hand. So once we finish up here, which won't really be finished, I'll start immediately going to work on the wall. Alright, so I've changed a little bit about the shape. It's going to be vaguely more triangular and isn't going to be completely like an oval like it was previously. So I've made fewer dots along the edges of the polygon instead just put them at the corners. They're going to be the tall spruce wood pillars around here. And so the base of the triangle is kind of like down here, but it'll kind of jut in a little bit with how the river's pointed. It'll extend a fair bit out that way, just because I don't think the inn should be directly at the entrance when you're coming into the city from the Emmons Field. And then up here, I don't know, I felt like it would have looked a little weird to go out so far onto this peninsula. I'm not sure what you would call this, but this kind of area of land jutting out into this other river. And then also including some bits of the hill over there. As you can see, I've begun taking away some of the dirt that's been there, and stone, and I'll be chipping away at that so that we don't have such a steep hill inside of the city. But that's the basic plan, and I think I'll start throwing down a bunch of spruce logs for the wall at this point, just so that we can make sure that everything inside is lit up, and then we won't have to worry about mobs anymore. I've built the first level of the wall. I'm planning on making it 6 blocks tall, but I forgot to check how much spruce wood I had in my inventory before doing this, and I had to refill in the middle of it. So how would I be able to calculate how much spruce wood I would need? It turns out that if we make a diagonal wall, all we have to care about is the coordinate that changes the most, and that's how many blocks we'll use in the Minecraft grid system. So here in this Desmos graph, I have all of the coordinates of the kind of corners of the wall put in, and we can like just add in the lines between them to show where the walls will go. I did have to make the points like start and end with the same point so that it gives us the correct lines here. But we're able to make a function that does exactly what we wanted to do. It'll find the longest coordinate between each pair of points, and then it'll add up all of those to give us a total of 683. We can take 6 times 683, that's the total number of blocks, and then divide by 64 for the number of stacks, which is exactly a stack of stacks, pretty much. Or a double chest and 10 stacks. So far, I've actually mined a total of 6,299 spruce logs, so it is actually going to be fairly doable to get all of those, hopefully. So I'm going to get chopping, I guess, and get us some wood to complete the wall. I realized that I didn't factor into the calculation that we've already built one layer of the wall, and so we'll actually only need just under a double chest, 54 stacks, in order to finish the wall up. But that would still take us through about 14 iron axes, so I think it's time to invest in a diamond axe, or 2. So we do have one guy who is selling diamond axes. I'm not sure if the villagers climbed the scaffolding or something, but for some reason 2 of the... Oh, sorry. 2 of the toolsmiths ended up inside the villager breeder, which I'm very confused at. But yeah, we'll have to figure out some way of making sure that they stop getting in here, I guess. Lock that up because we don't need new villagers. So yeah, these 2 diamond axes should be enough to completely get the rest of the wood that we need for the walls. Well, it took a little bit of time, but we actually got all the spruce wood now. I was actually surprised how quickly the 2x2 spruce trees grow on their own, and honestly, it goes pretty fast, and I was almost constantly shopping for a while there. When I did have to wait, they also grow pretty quickly with bone meal as well. While waiting for the trees to grow sometimes, I also put a building over the lava farm, and so it's just a nice cramped place that gets us a lot of lava. I don't quite have enough of a good source of getting iron to be able to keep these lava stored in buckets all the time, so I'll try to eventually get a better source of iron. Finally, I also took a look at the bamboo that's flowing into our furnace array, and it actually completely filled everything up. So I hooked it up to a couple autocrafters here. The first one will make sticks, and the second one makes full blocks of bamboo. And finally, at the end, for the runoff, I have just bamboo going into a double chest. Hopefully this doesn't fill up, because it could cause lag if there's bamboo sitting over these hoppers. I can't remember if I showed these autocrafters in a video, but basically these are just set to 8 in the composters. When we get... Oh, there's actually some bamboo flowing in now, so I can show what's happening. So gradually bamboo will flow into here. Whenever the composter reaches full level, which is 9, even in this one where we have stuff blocked a little bit, the blocks, when you block something like that, it'll still register as a filled slot. So this is also the same way, composter filled to 8. Right there. Alright. And then, once everything fills up, this conveyor sets subtract mode, so once we get 9, it'll send one strong pulse here, repeater strengthens it, shuts off it, and then also activates the crafter. And even if you put in a whole bunch at a time, it'll still go back and forth, since this kind of makes a clock with the repeater shutting off the comparator because it's on subtract mode, and then the repeater shuts off, which turns the comparator back on. So these are able to make sticks and blocks of bamboo pretty well. And I can immediately take these sticks. How many does the fletcher sell at a time? I can't remember. But we can also get more fletchers here to convert the bamboo almost directly into emeralds that we can. I found that the fastest way to build up the wall is to just do one block at a time and just walk forward. It's easier on the more diagonal sections. When it's straighter, you have to be clicking faster. But in general, you can kind of just go like this. And I think it is faster than, shift clicking and doing, 2 at a time, but I'm also being kind of inaccurate while I'm talking right now. But as long as you click fast, you can just walk along, and you don't have to shift the entire time when you're, doing 2 or 3 blocks below you when you're going in a line. So we're coming up on 5 out of 6 blocks tall for the wall. I am not building the wall up over the hill yet. I'm kind of stopping there just because I'm not entirely sure how I want to terraform the hill, because I definitely don't want to have that big of a cliff in the actual city. You might notice I have made a few changes to some of the buildings. I began adding an exterior to one of the bamboo farms, as well as an exterior to the furnace array and stick crafting building. And so here, I'm definitely going to be adding more details. I had to put this strip of spruce planks in because I need to cover up redstone. That's right here, and it seemed like spruce trapdoors would be the best, and then spruce planks are the best color to match those. But I might change up the color of the oak, and then I also definitely need to add more details. I definitely farther along with this exterior, maybe a couple windows or so in the top level, but otherwise I think it looks really good. You can see some water streams go out the sides because we I kind of built the furnace array after I had the exterior of the building, so it upset a little bit, but we just have put it like this and it seems like it works fine. And then one thing I also changed over by the stick crafter is that we now have a chest for you to put logs into, and then it's automatically crafted into sticks. I put a bunch of glass on the floor so that it's much nicer to walk around and take a look at the redstone. And this used to be a redstone torch right here, but I switched it out to a decorative pot with just a one stack of items in there to get a full 15 level out of it. Right, 15 minus 8 is 7. Because the redstone torch was locking the hopper, and it didn't actually work when it had that. But it's definitely really nice to have started the wall and then made sure that everything on the inside of the walls is lit up. I haven't had to worry about a monster attack since I began lighting everything up and built the wall. I also, the storage rooms inside of the inn, the chests are getting kind of full, so I began moving some stuff out here. So here I have just old tools and stuff, and I guess could be future tools. And then over here I have some building materials, so just some stuff that makes it much easier to grab in the middle of working on the exteriors of these buildings. What is this? Dream prophecy? The world is now broken and dreams are all wrong, and nightmares roam since peace is gone. Is there any hope left? Generations of dreamers will toil and die where burning ground meets crimson sky in the land of nightmares. They say death is far lighter than duty one bears. Our work shall be to end nightmares, for we will dream again. I really have no idea what that could be talking about. I don't think I usually dream, or I can't remember any nightmares. There's that one time a ways back in Emmons Field when I had like a weird dream, but that's been about it. We'll just put this upstairs with our other books, and I think we'll call an episode there for today. See you next time.